You know, in the Matrix, when they have the socket in the back of their neck and they're plugged up and uploaded to the system, and you know how they can like download information. Like I really wish there was like a sweeper program, like to sweep out Watchtower. I grew up in Watchtower. And I learned how to have low self-esteem. I did not learn how to really connect with other people. I did not learn how important I was, or how valuable I am, or how much my contributions mean to other people. I was not taught to think of myself as important and to think of my feelings as important. I was not taught to appreciate my intellect and my talents and my ability. I'm a lost child of Watchtower, so I wasn't told that it's not okay for everybody else to get their way except for me. I wasn't told that my needs were just as valid and valuable as everyone else's. I was told and taught and indoctrinated the best I could do is marry a approved male, and then maybe my life might have some value to it. As a lost child of Watchtower, we don't even understand how to get along with regular people. As a lost child of Watchtower, I am constantly afraid. Everything is scary. Everything is uncertain. I'm anxious. I get depressed. I think about people I knew in the past. I think about my friend that committed suicide around this time last year. I get all upset again because I thought that this was the answer, and it wasn't, and it isn't. And it will never be the answer. How much I was lied to and manipulated. And it's not right. And it's not fair. It's not. And then what? And then what? And then what's left now? Just pick back up and start over? It's not that simple. If it was, I'd fucking do it. Just to forget about it? I wish I could just forget about it. I would. Who wants to waste their time even thinking about this bullshit? Who wants that? Nobody in their right mind wants that. It just makes me mad, crazy, frustrated, lonely, despondent, numb, anxious, fearful. What if this is the right religion? I still think that shit sometimes. What if I made a mistake? What if I just let Satan overtake me? What if I'm just losing my mind? What if I'm just crazy? I'm just crazy. What if the Great Tribulation breaks out tomorrow and all of this is just wrong? I was just wrong. I know that is not a mistake. Watchtower cannot be God's chosen organization. If God even has a chosen organization, and if we understand God the way we've been taught, which very well may have been a lie of itself. It's so many ifs. There's so many questions. There's so many lies. There's so many everything. Everything. I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone episode. You wake up. Decades have passed you by. And for you, it's like you never was alive at all. You're just now alive. You've just begun living. And you have this body, you have this brain, this mouth that speaks. You have this stuff. You have this life that seems like it was going on before you arrived, but you feel like you just got here. Every decision that has led up to this point, because Watchtower has been involved from the beginning, every decision that has led up to this point has to be questioned. How much better, how much more different would my life be if Watchtower was never in the mix, was never a factor? But our spirit was taken. Our souls, our spirits, our essence, Watchtower straight up took it. The things that make us who we are, Watchtower took that. The moment we was dipped in that pool, we went in being individuals. We went under being special and human. And we came up out that water as robots. Robots for Watchtower. So instead of you being tied up in college, or you being tied up for the track meet or whatever, you pushing their literature. We were some fucking book and magazine salesmen. That's it. The whole Watchtower scheme is nothing but a business. It's a business scheme with a Watchtower, with a Jesus Christ Christian storefront. That's it. And we didn't get any benefits. We were robbed like 3 ways, 4 ways. Leave it to Watchtower. They ain't gonna rob you one way. They taking it all. God, they taking it all. They even have systems in place, Watchtower, to ensure the likelihood that you stay in the organization. That's all disfellowshipping is and discouraging higher education is. That's just to ensure a higher probability that they can retain you as a publisher, as a member, as a congregation member. That's all that is. For you to stay to marry only in the organization. That's just to increase Watchtower's chances that you stay in the organization. You trying to please God, you're not going to leave. You're trying to stay in the organization so you can find a man that's in the organization that's good, that you can marry. Use your own personal human drive, the drive for family, the drive for security, the drive for romance, the drive for sex, the drive for inclusion, the drive for all of that. Watchtower owned all of that. Watchtower took everything you ever wanted and twisted it and manipulated it to suit their purposes. That's the difference between the world. That's the difference between other Christian churches and Watchtower. That's what makes Watchtower the worst. Because at least those other organizations, they encourage you to keep going. They encourage you to increase your financial stability. They encourage you to increase your education, to increase your status. They want that. Watchtower is the only organization, Christian organization that I'm familiar with that deliberately does the opposite. No, we don't care what your IQ is. We don't care how smart you are. We don't care what your school counselors say. We don't care what them aptitude tests say. What we say is you are going to incur Jehovah's wrath if you do not put his kingdom interests first. So if you're not out in field service more than everybody else, and if you're not striving to be a more spiritual person, and you instead use that time to improve yourself, your future, your happiness, your financial stability and abundance, if you do that, then you are a child of the devil, and you will be destroyed by Jehovah God during his great day. That ain't nothing but some bullshit. And you realize that wasn't the first time you felt that way. All the times you was like, I don't know. I just don't know. Sitting in traffic, boom. Remember that time. That be them that times. Remember that time. Remember that meeting. Remember that gathering. That times. Them that times come back. Slap you upside the head like you ain't got no kind of sense. And like, remember that time at the congregation picnic. Them lame ass picnics, by the way. That ain't for the young people. Then they want to wonder why the young people. Why do Jehovah's Witnesses ask this dumbass question? What's wrong with the young people? What's wrong with the young people is the Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, one of these young people cut up and do what they do. I don't blame not one young person for acting the fuck up growing up a Jehovah's Witness. I should have acted up more. I did a little bit, but I did not make nearly as much noise as I should have. I'm going to make some noise now, though. And it feels good not to need them anymore. I don't need Daddy Watchtower. I don't need to be told that I'm not good enough and I should just be goddamn grateful to have Jehovah's undeserved kindness. Look, whoever God is, his name ain't Jehovah. I wish I would stop calling him that, because that's not his name, and you know that. You've admitted that, but y'all still want to call him Jehovah. Y'all still want to call him that made up ass, inaccurate ass name. All right, then. I don't call God Jehovah no more because I know better. If God, don't nobody is for sure what God's name is, guess what? He don't want us to know. How about that? Get out of here. Let's use some common sense for once. How the most powerful being of all reality. How is that the most powerful being, but don't nobody know what his name is? Do you think that's a coincidence or that it's intentional? That's like somebody calling you from a blocked number. They blocked their number deliberately. They don't want you to know their name. That's how I look at it with God. Please correct me if I'm wrong. The most easily thing he could have put his name on everything. Be like, yup, that's God's name. It's on everything. He don't want us to know, and that's his prerogative. That's cool. I still believe, though. It ain't no way God made me with this desire to be alive and then expect me to willingly die. So God gave human beings a brain with the capacity to think, with the capacity to exercise knowledge, to exercise intellect, with the capacity to create other things, with the capacity to create inventions and scientific methods that encourage and prolong a natural human lifespan. So God made us with the ability to come up with these methods that are meant and are designed to increase human life, to increase the health and longevity of human life. But then the same God that gave us the brain to create this stuff is the same God that tells us we can't use our own creations to help our life. We can't use blood transfusions so we can keep living. Being one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you have to believe a lot of bullshit. And you have to turn off the part of your brain that wants things to make sense. Because don't nothing make sense when you a Jehovah's Witness. And and it's natural for your brain to be like asking question marks. Like it's natural for your brain to be like, wait a minute, that don't make sense. Wait a second. How does 1 + 1 = 4? How? Just start from the beginning. Bring me through this step by step. And show me how 1 + 1 = 3 or 1 + 1 = 4. You can't even do that as a witness. The fact that you're asking for a logical explanation and to see the natural logical development of the arguments that Watchtower makes for their different predictions and policies and etc. You can't even ask for the playbook. They're going to kick you off the team. That is denying our humanness. Again, God created humans with the ability to ask these questions, to think this way. But we have to shut that off when it comes to Watchtower. We can't question where they get their authority from or why we should listen to their view of the Bible versus everybody else in the world, versus all these scholars. Oh, because we special. We were special as Jehovah's Witnesses. That's another need Watchtower fulfill, if I'm being transparent. You want to feel special. You want to feel different. Oh, we know the truth about I was about to say the trilogy. Same thing really. Trinity. We know the truth about God. We know the truth about the condition of the dead. We understand what God's kingdom is. We don't pass collection plates. We don't have a clergy class. We're not as bad as we don't have the problem the Catholics have with child abuse, which is a bold-faced lie. We know the truth about holidays and birthdays, and we know the truth about Jesus Christ and his purpose and the outworking of Jehovah's purpose. And we just felt so motherfucking special. We wasn't nothing but motherfucking delusional.